Hey y'all, my beautiful City Skylines Nation. Welcome back to Cliffside Bay. And as you can see, this is what we got built the last time around. Quite a while back. I think it's been over 8 days, maybe more than a week. There we go, got all this. So this is my kind of Doctor, no James Bond, kind of supervillain, maybe NASA space hangout. There we go, looks like that. It's slap bang in center of a volcano, which looks a little bit like that. Created this kind of crater volcano kind of design just to hide the buildings because they're super ugly. But there we go. So that's what we got done the last time around. So I think it's a very beautiful build, although it doesn't really fit in with any city you've ever kind of put your imagination, I guess. So it looks like that. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, this is going to be almost my very last build of the whole city. So let's get going. So what we're going to do is we're going to work on this little area here. And I kind of tell you what it is. You got to work it out for yourself and let me know in the comments at what point you knew exactly what I was building. There we go. So let's come up with a little design. So I've got to come up with something that I want to put here. And it's going to take quite a vast chunk of this land. So yeah, let's get going. So let me have a little look. Down a couple of practice roads just to kind of cordon off a bit of an area, I'm thinking. So there you go. I am looking to build somewhere around this whole area here. So that's going to be kind of mighty interesting and, yeah, a little bit problematic, I guess, as I really don't know what I'm doing yet. But let's see if we can come up with a plan. Okay, so we've got this kind of huge square here, or rectangle. Let me say it's a rectangle. So let's put a little road here. This is a pretend practice road. I want to put it kind of here, I think. Just for now. And let's kind of measure that. Let me do a little bit of deleting, I think. So that's going to be, it's going to be starting from there. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start kind of here. And let's see how far down I can go. I'm thinking maybe, let me have a think. 4,200 looks good. Yeah, there we go. So that is quite a mighty length. So that's pretty cool. And then maybe we can go right across here from now. Like that, there we go. So that's pretty cool. So it looks like that so far. Looking pretty interesting, isn't it? So let's delete. Do I need to delete this? I think I do. So let's delete this. There we go. Perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure out a set of roads and do a little bit of a road layout. So let's come up with a plan. So let's go. A little practice road here. The kind of road guidelines really do help me out when I'm trying to work out the math. So, I don't know, let's go kind of here. I'm going to put a little road here. So this is a little marker road. And then let's come in from this way here. Let's go about, I don't know, about here. Yeah, that'll work. So delete that, delete all of that. There we go. So we got that so far. So let's bring this road down here. Not too sure how far down I want to go, and we're going to do the same with this road here. We go that'll do for now. So what is the entire length of this? That is, okay, 2760. I think I might want to make this a little bit wider. About there, I think. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's bring that all the way up here. And then we're going to extend the land. I want it to kind of meet up with that. Let's do that right now. There we go. That is perfect. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, that's kind of wide, pretty much wide enough, I think. And then let's delete this road here. Like that. There we go. So that gives me my new little kind of building space to put something in. So let's put this road maybe across here like that. Okay, there we go. So we got that right now. So let's put in another little kind of temporary road, I guess, provisory road. Let's go, I don't know, let's go, yeah, let's go there, 1120. Okay, let's bring this down. Delete that piece here. Like that. That's kind of cool. Maybe we can join that up with that until I've worked out how far I want this to go down. Join that up like that. Oh, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's go. Let me have a little think about this. I'm going to go about, I don't know. Let's stop it there. That looks okay to me. Let's bring that road down like that. There we go. They're going to bring this up and then kind of match it up with that. So that's okay. So there we go. It's now looking like that. So have you guessed what it is? Not yet. Okay, let me take this road away here. Right, here we go. This is going to be the dead giveaway to what I'm building. So let's go into our transportation. And here we go. We got a little airport. So that is exactly what we're building today. Now, is that the center? I think that might be the center. I'm going to pretend that's the center. There we go. So we're going to put a little airport there. And it looks like that. Oh, that's pretty sweet. So let's do something with these roads here. So I'm going to do a little road here. And a little road here. Just like that. And then I'm going to do a little road here. Let me see what's the measurement to that. That is 160. Is that correct? Yeah, 160. I'm going to put a little road here. Like that. Then I'm going to delete all the rest. Like that. There we go. And we got that. So let's freeform that in. Like that and like that. There we go. Okay, so it looks like that. So let's put in what are going to be the runways. This is not the only runway, but yeah, let's see if we can come up with a vanilla airport without any mods, which is going to be kind of tricky. Now, do I take away the road guidelines? It might be one of these. Put my guidelines back on. There we go. That's perfect. Let's join these up again. There we go. That's okay. Now, can I put a road up and down here? I can. And that's as close as I can get to this little area here. So this is going to be one runway. Let's bring that into about here. About there. And then we're going to convert this into a runway as well. So let's do that. There we go. So that is going to look like that. So we no longer need this road here, I don't think. There we go. So our huge space is now shrunk down. So yeah, pretty pleased with that. So let's see what else I can do. So I'm going to delete this little road here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do some kind of interconnecting roads. Delete that little piece there, delete that little piece there, and there we go. It looks like that so far, so that's our pretend runway. So yeah, you got to use a lot of imagination. So let's change these roads over. Now the only roads I can change and make it look kind of almost semi-convincing are these ones here. So let's change these over. There we go. And what I like about these is you got the little arrows on here, which is pretty cool. Change this over. So there we go. We got that so far. Looks like that. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. As you can see, I've now managed to shrink down the kind of land space I'm using up. So that gives me a lot of potential to put some more little things around here, that kind of thing. So let's do a little bit more creativity. Let's see. Let's put another little road kind of down here on a kind of bit of a grass verge all the way along here. All this is going to be kind of maybe parking lots or empty kind of land, that kind of thing. So there we go. It looks a little bit like that so far. So what I'm going to do next is something you're probably not expecting. You're probably not expecting. So let's extend this road on. There we go. Just a little piece like that for now. And then let's put in another airport. Maybe about there. Maybe about there. So there we go. That's going to be our main airport. And this one is going to be a kind of cargo airport kind of thing. So I'm kind of happy with that. I'm going to put another little collection of roads kind of here. Like that. There we go. Out there, I'm going to put a little road just there like that. And then I'm going to take this away like that. There we go. So yeah, that's my final measurement. I'm kind of happy with that. Let's delete this little piece here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so there we go. We got that so far. I'm now going to do something a little bit odd. It's going to look a little bit odd, but hopefully I can get away with it. We're going to go back to our kind of highway. I'm going to put a little road along here like that. Then I'm going to put a road kind of along here. So let's go to a normal road for now. Try and bring this at an angle. Just about there should be fine. There we go. Then I'm going to delete this. Swap that over just for a second. And put a little bracing road here. I'm going to put a little road there as a marker. I'm going to delete this like that. And then we're going to try and match this. Reform it to kind of go around like that. There we go. And then we're going to take that away and going to take that away like that. So it's absolutely odd, but that's what I've come up with. So let's change that back into a highway like that. So it's kind of extremely odd, but it's kind of, yeah, it looks like that. So not only we got a runway here, we got a runway here, we got a runway here. We also got a miniature kind of runway here, which cuts across all the way along here. It's kind of odd. It's very odd, isn't it? So let's come up with another plan. As this is a patterned runway, that kind of wouldn't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this section here underground. So let's do that right now. I'm going to make sure I got my little mark roads in here. I'm going to bring this along here just for now. And then this road here is going to turn into a tunnel. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lower the terrain from here. There we go, so we got that. So that's looking pretty odd. So we're going to put a kind of a key wall along here. Let me straighten this out here. Put a little boundary road here. There we go, we got that little bit of a shape there. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? And then we're going to do the same here. We're going to turn this into a tunnel. So there we go, we got that so far. It looks like that is a very odd, peculiar design, but there's a whole reason behind this, So let's put a key wall all the way along here. I'm going to put a little mini key wall up here. And then we're going to put a key wall kind of here. So I'm going to time lapse that and I'll meet you at the end of all this. Okay, there we go. I got the key walls done. I've got this little one on the end here, just for this one, not for this one, because that's the way I want it. So that means I'm going to have to move this road over a little bit over there because, yeah. And also, it's kind of sloped down there. It's kind of weird. So let's do a little bit of adjusting. There we go. So that looks like that. That's pretty cool. So like I said, when you look at the city, look at it like that so you don't have those kind of icons kind of telling you that these roads are not connected. Got the key walls kind of here. So I've got to put the tunnel back in, but I'm glad I deleted that because I've got to put this road in where I really want it to go, which is kind of about there. I'm thinking, let me put a path in here. There we go, that is perfect. And then let's join the road kind of here. I think I'm having the road here. Pretty much like that. There we go. And then this is going to go back into a tunnel. There you go. It looks a little bit like that. It's extremely odd, and this path is quite clearly not, let me go above ground, please. Thank you. And this path is quite clearly not kind of straight. But there you go. That is, yeah, that's my kind of final design for that little area here. There. Let me delete all these roads here. There we go. That's pretty cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another little kind of road here. Just about there should be fine. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of judge where I want to place maybe a couple of buildings. So maybe we're going to have one kind of here, I'm thinking. Like that. And then another one over here. Like that. Bring this road all the way along here. Then we're going to turn that into a bit of a kind of a weird rectangle. And then we're going to put in some buildings along here. There you go, that looks like that. Kind of cool. See if I can find a park to put in there. Thinking we put a plaza just about there like that. Still need that building before it grows into one of those ugly European buildings. So that's kind of cool. So let's do a little zone here. There we go, that's perfect. Delete this road here, we don't need that anymore. Put this little piece here. Now let me go back into the zone. Here's something that I never knew I could do. Default style and vanilla. I never knew that. That's kind of crazy. So yeah, I came across that the other day when I was just looking around on the city. So let's see what these go into now. Wow, that is perfect. I never knew. So after ages trying to struggle with these European buildings here, I've just found out that you can put in a zone and then change the style of the zone. So yeah, I never knew that. So that's kind of crazy. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. So let me get rid of that because that's super tall. And these are super tall as well. Maybe I want tiny ones. This one, I don't know. Gonna have to do a little bit of whack-a-mole with that, but at least I know that works. So that's kind of cool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn these into industrial kind of buildings, I'm thinking. This one here. So let's do that. I'm going to create another little zone here. Just about there. And then we're going to turn that into forestry like that. And then we're going to play a little bit of whack-a-moling and hopefully we can get some decent looking buildings popping in, that kind of thing. So yes, do that right now. Okay, so it looks like that so far. We've got these buildings here, so that's kind of cool. I definitely got to get in some police and that kind of thing. Is it not connected to the main line? I think that's what the problem is. We can remedy that in a few ticks. So I'll just put in a provisory little miniature road here for now, and then we'll put in a proper one later on down the line. Like that, there we go. So let's see where we're at. So yeah, we are over here. We're working on this little section here. Hopefully we'll get these buildings popping in. So as you can see, I converted that into farmland. I'm waiting for the particular sheds to pop in, which look a little bit like these ones right here, which are 2x2s, as you can see right here. There you go. So I'm looking for these particular sheds to pop in. Okay, so let's see if we can start getting some power jumping from building to building, that kind of thing. It's going to be kind of tricky, but hopefully I can do it. First of all, let's put in a fire depot. Place you in there like that. It's kind of cool. And then we can do one more little thing kind of here. We'll put a road. I don't know where we're going to put the road. Actually, let me do my usual one-way street on here. Okay, that'll do for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into one of my vanilla parking lots. And as you can see, you'll leave a little gap each time. Put a road there, gap, road, and so on. Okay, we are getting there, Perfect. Let's make that historical. And this one here, oh, that's perfect. That's green. That's exactly the color I want. And might as well leave it like that. There we go. Exactly as inside there. Okay, it's timber. Okay. Considering this is a farm, I'm not sure why they got timber in there. Okay. Which flavor is this? One's a blue one. Okay, I'll stick with that. There you go. So that was kind of easy. So this is finished. Let's go back to over here. I haven't finished off the parking lot. Finish that off right now. Whoops, that's a little bit of right. Let me change that around. There we go. I knew one of the sides would work. And there you have it. That's my pretend parking lot. Looks pretty cool. So that's not really helping us get any kind of electricity jumping across here. So definitely going to have to look into that. So let's carry on over here, I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some more kind of buildings along here. These are going to be office buildings. So let's go back to the district painter. There we go. Let's make this vanilla like that. Okay, now let's put in a little road here. I'm going to put in some office buildings along here. There we go. I'm happy with that. So yeah, let's put in a few little buildings here and there. We're going to turn this into a separate little zone here. We go like that, and we're going to turn that into forestry. So let's do that. Forestry it is, and then let's put in some huge buildings. Hopefully we can get some of those sheds that I like repairing. So let's see what happens with that. Okay, there we go. So if you use your imagination, you can pretend these are aircraft hangars, that kind of thing. So it's kind of cool. I've paused the game to stop them disappearing. So let's put in a fire depot right down here. I think in here will help with the buildings jumping. And let's carry on. I think if we can squeeze one or two buildings in here and there just to help to get the power kind of jumping, that kind of thing. So, okay, we got this looking like this right now. So it's looking pretty sweet. We got this little complex kind of here. We got a road that goes into a tunnel here. We got a bit of a tunnel here. It's a bit of a mixed bag, but I'm kind of happy with that. I kind of overextended these buildings over here just to help with the power jumping. I really would have just left it like that, I would have imagined, or maybe 4 buildings that way. Maybe put a couple of buildings that way. I'm not too sure. Maybe we can move this over. Let's do that right now while I got the chance. Let's see if I can put in a couple of little office buildings here just to make it look a little bit more authentic and balanced. There we go. We got our first building here and we got our second one there. That's looking good. Historical straight away, and that is looking good. Historical straight away. There we go. We're going to fit in one more there, and I think we should slide that fire department right along there, like that. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's okay. But that is not okay. There we go. Perfect. Okay, there you go. It's looking a little bit like that. It looks a little bit crazy, but I'm kind of happy with that. You got to use your imagination. That's my intention for this kind of build here. So let's see what else we got. So, yeah, I'm going to put in another building around about here. I'm thinking we put it just there like that. Make sure the zoning is covered over there as well. I'm going to go for a similar vibe as what we got kind of going on here. So let's press play on that. This one I need to maybe delete this and probably get a better looking building. I'm trying to get kind of this building here. Well, let's see what pops in. Here we go. This has got to be the right one now. Looking good. It's looking good. It's looking real good. There we go. Perfect. Keeping that like that. There we go. Perfect. So we got that going on. We got extra wind turbines over here just to help with the power because this was not enough. So we got all this is now connected for now until I change it up again. So let's put something over here. Now I'm thinking because it looks like it's got a bit of a tower kind of look about it, we're going to put this kind of here. A little bit like that, and you can pretend that's a kind of a control tower. So there we go, we got that, so that's kind of cool. But let's move over to this section here. So I'm gonna change this road up. We're gonna go back to the 4-lane road. Is that the one? 4-lane road, there we go. We're gonna change that up. We're gonna bring that in maybe just about there, maybe, I'm thinking. That might work. I get a little bit closer. That's okay. I like that. I'm gonna bring that all the way along here just for now. A little bit more. Shall I do some deleting? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to delete all this here. There we go. And then we're going to bring this road kind of here. Kind of like that. Now I can put in some more buildings here. So I'm going to go for those kind of aircraft looking hangar kind of buildings, I'm thinking. We're going to put one here. We're going to put one kind of here. There we go, like that. And I'm going to delete this little road here, like that. I'm going to try and sneak another one in here. So hopefully that'll work out. Then we're going to put in some more office buildings kind of here. Not exactly sure if this will work out, but we can try. We can try. So let's do a little gap there. Then put 3 there and then 3 there, maybe like that. And go back to this zone here. Make sure this is forestry. There we go. That's forestry. That's fine. So yeah, let's see if we can get these to go in how I want. So there we go. So I'm kind of pleased with that. So let's do 1 or 2 little things. First of all, we're going to check the power. As you can see, you've got to put something here to connect this with this. So let's see if we can put one of these on here. Now, apparently you can't build this because you need water. So let's do something about that. I'm going to lower the land just about here. Put that there like that. Temporarily hook that into there. Okay, there we go. A little bit of water. Let's put this in here. Let's move that around to face this way here, I'm thinking. Like that. There we go. So that should work. It looks a little bit kind of airporty, I guess. Turn this off. We're going to move you kind of over here, I think. Maybe about there. Okay, there we go. Let's put a pump in here. Just about get that in. Put a little connecting pipe there and let's press play. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to turn you off and move you right over there. Let's move over the land again. There you go, that kind of worked. And you got the, there we go, and you got the power connected. Isn't that weird how that's working and there's no water? Oh, that is really weird. Okay, do a similar thing kind of here, I think. There we go, that looks absolutely weird. But it kind of works. So let's put another little one kind of over here somewhere. Yeah, we got that, so there we go, that's pretty cool. Might as well delete that. So it looks like that, so definitely giving me the airport vibes. So I think we're done for that, so that's okay. This is all connected. This is temporarily connected to this. I've got to change this around somehow. But yeah, I think I'm going to do something over here. That's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to place a road along here somehow. Bring that along just about there, and then we're going to reform that into this road here. Like that, there we go. Then we're going to turn this into a little bit of a industrial center, so let's do that. So I'm thinking we go for some office buildings here. I don't mind what they look like this time. We go, so that looks like that. That's pretty cool. Kind of happy with that. So let's go back to transportation. I'm going to put in a cargo station kind of here. Like that. There we go. It looks like that, so it's pretty cool. We're going to carry this road on around the back here. About there should be fine, I'm hoping. Maybe here. Yeah, about there, I think. Then we're going to freeform this road in. Bring it in like that. There we go. Kind of an odd shape. So if you look underground, let's go underground. You can see, if you look at the cargo depot, this is the train track here. If you follow this all the way along here, you can see exactly where the train track goes. So all we got to do is connect this up to here. There we go. So that should be connected beautifully. So the trains can run along here, or they can go in from this side of town, loop around, come into this cargo terminal here, or they can come this way here. And then from the cargo terminal, they can go back that way or that way, that kind of thing. So hopefully that'll work. Definitely got to connect some power to there, so let's do that right now. First of all, I'm going to put in a police department. I'm thinking maybe this one here. Like that. Pretty cool. And then we're going to turn this into another parking lot, so let's do that. There you go, another beautiful little miniature parking lot. Kind of happy with that. So yeah, let's do something with this. So there we go, come up with that little plan. So as you can see, all this is kind of connected. So let's go into the zoning. Looks like that, so hopefully that'll fill in. Don't need to put anything here, I'm not too sure. I think I might. I'm gonna go for 4x4 like that. So the zoning looks like that. This is all vanilla, a little bit of forestry there, a little bit of forestry there. All this is forestry, that kind of thing. And all this is farming, I guess. Yeah, farming, there we go. So let's watch all this grow in and see what it looks like. Okay, there we go. Eventually got the buildings I want, so that's kind of cool. Let me slow that down because it looks a little bit crazy in my eye shot. So there we go. So I kind of mirrored that, but because the curvature of this building is this way, I've had to kind of flip it around, but it kind of makes sense. Got all these sheds here. We got all the industrial buildings here. We got this fire department, which kind of really helped pump all these up. But this is the first time I've ever seen this building in my life. So that's pretty cool. These are all the same. All these are now historical. Let's put in a few more little buildings along here. See what they turn into. So I'm looking for, hopefully these will be lower, kind of smaller buildings. That's what I want for this kind of area. I'm going to automatically make any small buildings kind of historical. And these are working out absolutely fine. I want that one to be different and this one here because they look kind of similar to the ones outside the airport, and I don't want them to look the same. That one's kind of perfect. I like that little one. So it looks like that from above. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I like that. It's kind of interesting that I got all the industry here when this is my kind of industrial freight kind of airport kind of here. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Okay, let's check on the power. Okay, the power is, let me go to there. There we go. So power is not too bad. All this is connected. This is connected via these things. Don't need that anymore. Still need that. Okay, so that's all running fine. Definitely want to kind of find a way of connecting the power to here. I'm going to carry on with some more road layouts. A little bit like that. Let's change this one to the 4-lane road. And then what I'm going to do is going to do a little kind of setup here. Street with trees on. Bring that along there like that. And then we're going to put in, maybe let's put in a hospital. A little bit too close to that. Okay, got to bring that a little bit further this way. There we go, that looks like that. I'm kind of pleased with that. So let's put in a few little parks here. Like that, that looks pretty cool. High density commercial here. And here like that. Take away the zoning from this street here. There we go. I'm kind of pleased with that. And then we're going to do a little neighborhood kind of here. A couple of cul-de-sacs. This is going to be just for the people that kind of work around here, that kind of thing. So that's what I'm going to do. There we go, that's kind of cool. Let's put in the residential buildings. Just like that, I'm going to place a lot of trees here just to cover that up. So let's watch all that grow in. So there we go, everything is now done. I'm imagining this little neighborhood is kind of affluent really, not really so much for the kind of workers of the airport, although I was thinking maybe some of the pilots will live here. Bit of an affluent community, and you got the high street here, a couple of parks and the hospital, so that kind of ties in with the vibe of what we got going on here. We got the industrial little center here, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little community kind of in here. These are going to be for real workers of the airport, so they're not going to be high affluent kind of properties we got here. So let's come up with a little plan here. I'm going to do maybe a little street here, that kind of thing. Maybe some more cul-de-sacs. We'll see how it goes. Okay, there you go. I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So yeah, the majority of these are level 1s and 2s. I let a few of those go beyond that because I just wanted to introduce a lot of variety. So you can imagine most of these people work at the airport. This area here is a little bit more affluent, even though it's next to all the industry. You can tell that by the fancier buildings. And this one is a little less affluent, although some of them are kind of pretty nice looking as it is. The ghost that looks like that. So let's look at the power. So that is fine. I got to find a way of connecting this to this because I want to eventually take away all these power lines. So let's come up with a plan. So I'm thinking, what am I thinking? Let's put a road in here, about here where this path is. I'm going to sneak that in there like that. And let's put in maybe a we don't have any schools, so we could put a school in here. I'm thinking we put this giant school in here. Okay, now let's see. Can we fit a little park or two in here? Thinking we go for a tennis court here and here. Kind of like that. Pretty cool. We're going to move these along here just a little while. Then we're going to pop that building right in there. I always think these make a beautiful little clubhouses. So there we go. So let's move this back over here. You go, absolutely beautiful. Kind of happy with that. I might put a park along here. I'm not too sure. This one. That kind of works. Kind of fits in with that path there. That's kind of cool. And then we can finish off that path by connecting that along there like that. Do the same here. We can turn that into kind of bigger park with a piece of detailing, that kind of thing. So I'm kind of happy with that. Yeah, happy with that. Beautiful. Okay, what I'm thinking now, I'm going to delete this road here. I'm going to do a kind of a set of joining roads to the airport. I'm going to do a lot of terraforming. I'm going to put in a key wall to mark the edge of the airport. And I'm going to do an interchange because I know the traffic is going to get absolutely crazy. And I'm going to do this as a time lapse because I know the video is getting on and yeah, I'm just taking too long. And this small little build is yet again turned into a giant build. So I'll meet you at the end of all this.
Between the lines, there's a
So there you go, an absolutely crazy looking interchange, but it absolutely works. Okay, so let's finish off the airport once and for all. And to finish it off, I'm going to put a road kind of here. Okay, so we have got a lot done over the last 2 days. This is actually a day later, believe it or not. So let's see what we got done. We got the airport is done here and here. We got a little industrial little center here. Little water and power center here. Small little neighborhood, a little shopping kind of precinct from schooling, and another housing kind of neighborhood for the airport, I guess. Lots of airplanes, as you can see here. And this, which I haven't told anybody what that is. But yeah, let's finish off with some detailing. So yeah, just going to detail all this. It's not going to be exciting to look at, but it's going to be something. Okay, so I'll see you after all this.
Lucky dreamer. Lucky dreamer.
Okay, we are done. There we go. And my word, have I overdone it. Yeah, it's yeah, absolutely crazy. But yeah, there we go. It's absolutely finished. So apologies. You probably noticed how long the video is. Let me pause it right there. So yeah, I kind of overdid it, but I didn't want to break this into two parts because my word, this series has been dragging on long enough. But yeah, this is my airport, and not only is this my airport, I'm going to say this is the most dangerous vanilla City Skylines airport ever made. And I'll show you exactly why as we zoom in on this plane here. Look how dangerously close that is. Crazy. Look at the clearance of that tree. It is absolutely crazy. Which is why I shrunk down the trees here. I did have these taller, but it looks a little bit ridiculous. Let's watch the plane land. Here we go. So yeah, absolutely dangerous. And not only is that part dangerous, look at this, my taking off section here. You overshoot it, man, you're gonna crash and burn, I guess. And look at that slope. Yeah, definitely gotta sort this out later, but I'll do that another time. But yeah, let me show you what I got done. So here we go. Into the zoning. As you can see, I did a little kind of business center here and here. Over here, we got some suburbs. We got a hospital and a shopping precinct here. Over here, some more suburbs. We put in some schools and a tennis club, that kind of thing. Over here, we've done this little design here and more suburbs, that kind of thing. But as you can probably see, let's come out of this view here. As you can probably see, I've labeled things. So can you guys tell me exactly what this airport is based upon? Now, if you look at the wording, you'll know exactly what it is. So drop a comment and tell me what it is. So let's zoom in here, and as you can see, this is the Fort Baxter Air Base. And as you can see, it's kind of hard to do anything when you got no DLC. It's just slim pickings. Looks like that, kind of pretty, kind of cool. Is it pretty? I don't know if it's pretty. There you go. So we got the palm trees with the little flower kind of beds there. Over here, as you can see, let me find where it is. It's here somewhere. Here it is. This is Little Havana. Over here, as you can see, where I got the schools. I got this beautiful little park I created. Like that. Can I zoom in? Let me go into this view here. It's better. It looks like that. Bit of invention. Over here, we got back into this view in case I've got some more wording. We got a couple of parks here. We got this thing here. None of this has been kind of labeled. This is the International Airport Depot. As you can see here, I turned off the water so it doesn't flood. It's just there for the looks. There we go. Over here, what is this? This is my beautiful little business park with the beautiful running trains. This is actually the International Freight and Cargo. That's what this whole area is. Over here, we've got the EIA Southern Hangars, which looks like that. As you can see, I've thrown in a few little kind of put together buildings, which look like that. And as you can see, I finished off creating my helipad. It's a shame I don't have the paths of a red color, and I couldn't make this much smaller. These are my kind of, I don't know, my airplane fueling kind of little depots there. You got to use a lot of imagination with this kind of build. Moving over here, you can see I put in all these little paths to imagine this is where the little kind of baggage trucks and things like that go up and down, that kind of thing. And over here, another kind of fueling depot. And as you can see, a few little kind of weird buildings. And I don't know, maybe this is baggage. I don't know. I've strewn these all along the kind of airport, as you can see here. Anything else? Not much. It's all kind of the same. I put a few little things here and there. And as you can see, I kind of restricted the amount of ground cover on here, because airplanes need it to be clear for landing and taking off. You don't want the landing gear to be snagging on a bush. And over here, you can see just how busy this is. Absolutely beautifully busy. And the parking lot is all done. Over here, just a little bit of minimal detailing. Kind of similar kind of little things here. My usual technique, as you can see here, to cover up these tunnels. It looks like that. And if you take away this view here, it's rid of all those weird icons. So in my imagination, this is a beautiful, crazy, but dangerous airport. And it looks like that. And moving on down here, you can see my interchange is absolutely beautiful and it's working. There you go, not a problem. I did a few little tweaks here off camera, as you can see here. Kind of move this back and put the path back in. But yeah, I've got to do a final build over here sometime. And moving over to here now, this is going to be a dead giveaway, these clues here. This is the EIA hangar and fueling depot. And over here, this is, back in this view again, this is the Northern Freight Terminal. And this is going to be the dead giveaway, so I guess all of you will know what this is. If you do, put your comments down. If you don't, then you'll read the comments and find out what this is. But yeah, this is the Escobar International Airport. There you go. So do you know what this is? You should do by now. So there we go, folks. So I think I've done way too much, which is why the video is absolutely long and why I had to throw in quite a lot of time lapses. So yeah, I'm going to leave you with this view here. And next week we'll be working on finishing on the outside areas and probably working on the transportation, that kind of thing. So in the meantime, everybody, sincerely, take care of each other. Have a really nice day, and I will see y'all